So the next step for me, Keely, she actually was friends with Keith, and Keith is still with me today. He came on the team December 2011. He was my first listing specialist. My thought was that he was hired. I was out of the listing side. I made a critical mistake. I didn't train Keith properly in sort of the process of how we did listings and really how to handle a high volume listing environment. And so I literally let him, I think it was 105 appointments in a 3 to 4 month period. And the results weren't good. So I had to regroup with Keith. And luckily, he was loyal and stayed with me. And it was a weird time for us because I basically took him off appointments. I jumped back in. I built the process out where it was more repeatable, the same process that I taught you on already. So now we had the repeatable process. Um, Put Keith back into the process, and then I hired my second listing specialist in the middle of 2012. Finished out that year with 248 sides. We went from 178 to 248. It wasn't bad considering the roller coaster ride with pulling Keith out and trying to figure out that part of it. And at that point, I think I had one listing go over into January of 2013. It was my highest price point closing at 1.2 million, which in our market is a big deal, that price point. And then I would not work with a client again. So it was really, really cool to look back and achieve that. The last sort of step here is, at that point, I was really the sales and operations manager. I was obviously the owner, general manager, but two basic functions I served in the company was sales and operations. And so true to my vision of building a truly built out in real business, a sustainable business, it was time to find more talent. I really didn't realize, I sort of forgot that Keely had a background. She managed a bunch of new home developers. I think she had 60 people under her. We redesigned her role to handle part-time sales manager duties and to continue on as our inside sales agent. And to this day, she still takes all of our incoming seller calls and books listing appointments for our team. We added buyer ISA. Here's another thing, super critical. I think I may have covered this already. But it was in 2012, at some point late in the process, after we already did a bunch of sides, 250 sides, that's when we hired a buyer ISA, my first buyer ISA. So there's this push now where everyone I know is bringing ISAs into their business. And there's nothing wrong with it because it definitely works. But usually what I see is that agents are abdicating the responsibility of lead generation or lead conversion or whatnot, instead of being a true master at it and having agents that can do their own lead conversion and then bringing in an inside salesperson as a value add for agents. So we already had a fully productive team when we brought in an inside salesperson. So that's something to really consider. I brought in a few raw talent buyer agents who fit perfectly into our plug and play system. 2 agents came in like March, April timeframe in 2013 between the 2 of them. One was on a team for a year and didn't sell a single property, and one was new to general brokerage sales but had her license. They sold 60 properties between the 2 of them. So it was literally plug and play. The leads and the process and the training was already in place. I really needed an office manager. And that's what I set out to get, kind of just someone to handle the inner workings of the office. Got a bunch of resumes, interviewed a dozen people, and I found Cherie. So Cherie, she started out as an office manager, less than 6 months. She really is not just top talent, but really gets, I've been blessed to find people that truly buy into the vision that we're creating, and they see the opportunity. As I do less in the company, there's no animosity about that. They see it as an opportunity for them to do more and them to truly have an impact on a substantial business. So really hit the jackpot with that hire. She is in the process of becoming our BIC, so to handle all of our issues. She gets involved in a lot of client issues now as operations manager. It's a really, really true blessing to find Cherie and to redesign Keeley rolls. So that gave me the ability to replace myself. And that's when, sometime in 2013, I forget when, was when I went down to 2 days and then 1 day a week. And now if I'm in town, I go to the office on Tuesdays. So I ended 2013 with about 320 sides, approximately 75 million of volume. Really, really great year. I think our goal was 82 million of volume, 340 sides or something. So we missed our goal, but still a really good year considering that I removed myself from the business and I did no production.